Okay, dear friends, I believe I'm at the last stage of teaching you about the language of music. So we're going to plunge into the guitar in the next video. The only subject I really want to cover now is something called fixed do. As we just looked at solfeggio. So solfeggio, the first letter of any scale that we have, the chromatic scale, is do, the letter do, the word do, do. And so there's two kind of trends in music. One is called fixed do, and the other is called moveable do. So most Sufi music, most native musics of the world are in fixed do. So that means that there's like an anchor note, and you can think of it as a drone, or but wherever your melody goes, whatever scale you pick, you always return back home to the fixed do. So whatever vibrational level it is, but you're always coming back home to that one note. And then you have predominance in Western music. Whether I'll just use jazz as an example, but same in classical music and in even folk music and rock and roll. You have something called a movable do. So you start a song. Usually, you would start a song in like fixed do, where that original note, the song would revolve around that particular note, but at some point you might drift over to the flat 3 area of the scale, and for a while the flat 3 now becomes your do. And so that becomes, for however long that is. It could be temporary for 8 beats, or it could be a whole section of the song, or but the scale has changed. You're now in a different scale. You're in a scale that now uses flat 3 as its anchor note. Flat 3 becomes the fixed do for a while. Then you get into jazz flat 3 might be for 8 beats, and then 2 might be for 8 beats, and then flat 2 will be for 8 beats, and then 1, you'll go back to the 1. So you're having movable do's, in other words, movable centers that the song functions around. Anyway, like I said, predominantly in Sufi music, it's called modal music. Modal music meaning that out of our chromatic scale, we pick a certain number of notes by coordination with the other musicians, and we function in fixed do. And so we'll play 5, 6, 8, maybe 9 notes out of a chromatic scale, always coming back home to a fixed do or a certain frequency for most of the tune. Very, very rarely in Sufi music do I hear drifting off into other what are called key centers or tone centers, or as I'm trying to explain, having movable do. So okay, let's go plunge into the guitar and see what everything I just talked about is a lot simpler, but I always feel that it's really important for people to have the knowledge. If you have some idea what I'm talking about, it just opens up the door to be a lot easier to actually do the application. I mean, I can teach you by rote. I will be teaching you the number system, and by rote, or however you want to think of it. But suddenly, I hope you'll feel like you're loaded up with some information, and so hopefully everything will go smoother for you. Of course, you don't ever have to come back to any of these videos ever again, because we're just going to go into the practical application of guitar playing from this point on. All right, thank you very much.